Hey, how are you? I am so excited to meet you. I am enjoying this online conference and I hope you are too. But anyway, let me introduce myself because you may not know me. I am Devin Vasco from Homeschool House Calls. It is a pleasure to make your acquaintance. And I'm a homeschool mom of five. We've homeschooled almost 18 years. That's a lot of homeschool words, huh? Yeah. So anyway, I'm a homeschool mom of five. We have homeschooled almost 18 years. My oldest is 20. I also have an 18-year-old, 15-year-old, 13-year-old, and a soon-to-be 6-year-old. She is my happy surprise. I'll tell you a funny story. The year I found out I was pregnant, that first trimester, I cried because I was going to have to teach phonics again. Now, was phonics hard? No, it's a little tedious, but not hard. But I cried for almost 3 months. I had just kind of gotten rid of the phonics curriculum and given it away. But here I am. Just finished up kindergarten and we're halfway through with the phonics curriculum, and she's doing great. And I survived 5 times the phonics. If I did it, you can too. So, anyway, so today we're talking about the homeschool mom's self-care plan. This is something that's super important and something we need, but we often forget how to do this, especially when we take on the role of home educator and the kids, maybe they're never anywhere else. Maybe you don't have a good support system. We're going to talk about why this is important and what we need to do to put this into our day. So anyway, I hope you will enjoy it with me, and maybe we'll enjoy it. It's a little bit harder. This is a little different for me. Usually I do my workshops and they are live streamed into Facebook, and so I'm having a conversation. So I'm trying really hard to pretend mentally that you're talking to me because otherwise I'm going to fly through this information and they'll be going, why is this so short? Oh my gosh, help me. Let's pretend together that you're talking to me and I'm not talking to myself and I have not lost my mind. I could always call the kids in here. That might give me somebody to talk to, but it probably wouldn't be the conversation I wanted to have. I'm like, really? You feel me? Do you usually have the conversation you want when you call your kids in there? And don't you know how it is where they're never anywhere else? Now, I'm not complaining. I love my kids. My oldest is 20 and in college. Now I have 2 graduates, and I loved every minute of my time with them. I started homeschooling. Cole was 2. I had just graduated from university, and I went and looked at how much I was getting ready to get a job, went and looked at how much daycare would cost, and realized that I would have to pay to work. So at that point, my mom had homeschooled in the early 90s with my sister. She was homeschooling them. My sister, she just finished up. She's 10 years younger than I am. So I had my first, and so I'm like, mom homeschooled. I knew homeschooled when I worked on the mission field. I can do this just for preschool. It'll just be for preschool. And here I am, almost 18 years later. By the time we hit preschool and kindergarten, I never looked back. I was hooked. So anyway, so what do you do for self-care? So let me screen share so that we can get in there. Let's see. Here we go. There we go. Okay, so the Homeschool Mom Self-Care Plan. I actually have a Facebook group called by this name because it is such a rich subject. We don't have lots of conversation in there, but we try. So what are we thinking about when we talk about this? Let's look at self-care. So what is self-care and what is it not? Okay, for one thing, I don't want you to be confused and confuse these with me time. Self-care is not me time. Me time kind of gets a bad rap sometimes. I'm not against me time. There are times that we need that. But self-care is not selfish. They can contain the same actions. They both have a place in our life. But self-care is a necessary action of caring for our whole self. It is not a quick fix on a Friday night. It's not like it can help Sometimes we need that Friday night, but this is taking care of our health. This is something, I don't want you to confuse them. I don't want you to allow guilt to stop you from making a self-care plan, because self-care is not me time. Um, we have to take care of our bodies. God gave us our bodies. He wants us to make sure we're healthy. So, yeah, so that's what it is. That's what I'm talking about. I don't want you to confuse anything of a selfish nature or anything negative. That's not what we're meaning here. So what are some, I need to move my little picture because my little self is on top of it's on top of my words. I'll skip around and not tell you what need to tell you. So what are some aspects of self-care? These all work together. A lot of times we look at this and we think that they're separate entities away from, we're one whole person. All of these are interchangeable. All of these will apply to each other. So, it's like if you work on your physical self-care, you can have benefits with your mental health care and vice versa. So we're all one thing of a whole. These are just different parts to true your mind. Physical self-care. This is going to be movement of your body, your health, your nutrition, your sleep, your resting needs. Some examples are going on a walk, taking a bath, getting enough sleep. That is something I never do. Eating nourishing foods. This is one of the things that I actually am working on. I am trying to work on what they call water dense foods like fruits and veggies, because I was doing keto and I found that I was gravitating toward fat and meat and not eating the veggies and the fruit that you can have with keto. I am no longer doing keto. Nothing against keto, but I had to do some change up. I'm doing Trim Healthy Mama now. So I love that one. So anyway, so this is the physical self-care. Let's see. Psychological self-care. This is learning new things, practicing mindfulness. You may not have, being mindful of what's going on. Creativity. Some examples could be practicing mindfulness. I don't really understand that one. That was just an example in my stuff. You may understand it. If you do, send me a note. Let me know what it is. I think I get it, but sometimes I go, damn, is that really what I mean? Reading a book, learning a new skill. It could be knitting. It could be doing a digital detox, like, taking a Facebook break, taking a social media break. It could be taking a break from maybe some family members who are a bit toxic that you just need to back up from a little bit. It is taking what you need mentally. Well, it's not completely mentally. Emotional self-care. It could be enhancing your emotional literacy. My girls like to tell my husband that he needs to work on his emotional intelligence. These are all big words right now, whether, it could be increasing your empathy or managing your stress. This is your emotionals. It can be learning to say no. That is not something I find easy. One thing I learned to do is I'm very big on helping moms, and I got to where I was not telling anyone no. So now I have a scheduling app and I send them to there. So there's only so many hours in a day that I can schedule, and I'm not telling everybody no, and they're not taking too much of my time. So it can be that. It can be making time to reflect on how you feel about something, thinking through something, just taking time to just breathe, and being quiet, practicing self-compassion, being aware of your boundaries and where you need that space to be. Social self-care. It could be having a support system, a network of relationships around you can trust. It's building your homeschool tribe. It could be honoring your commitments to other people, asking for help when you need it, meeting new people so that you can build a homeschool tribe, spending time. I need to make sure my notes over here because I have a few extra here. Making sure you're spending time with your family and your friends, the ones that build you up and make you feel safe. Professional self-care. It could be sharing your strengths and gifts and having clear professional boundaries and living your purpose. Some examples could be eating a nutritional lunch if you're working outside the home. If you're working inside the home, eat a nutritional lunch. Negotiating your needs, having clear professional boundaries, attending development opportunities. If you're in my other workshop, you will know that I told you to work yourself into your schedule and your budget. So, because my other workshop is becoming a professional home educator. So I love this one. Environmental self-care, having an organized, well-maintained, clutter-free work, business, home environment, having clean clothes, having a clean, maintained mode of transportation. I love that. I wish my kids would not trash my car. Having some examples could be decluttering your workspace and your home, monitoring, maybe you're a minimalist. Maybe you want to move toward having a capsule wardrobe. I did that. I decluttered my closet so that I didn't have to think so deep. I buy better quality, but it's a capsule and it's everything mixes and matches well, and it's there and it makes it easier for me. Monitoring your technology time. You're not on social media all day long. Cleaning up after a meal. Oh my God, that helps so much to have. I don't know if you ever did the Fly Lady, but she would always say, shine your sink at night. So having my sink clean and my sink empty makes a big difference on how I start my day. Maintain a clean, safe living environment. These are important things. Spiritual self-care. Oh my gosh, this is like one of the top ones that can help you do things. Having beliefs and values that are important to you and guide your life. Meditating on God's word, reflecting in a journal, going on a retreat, walking in nature, ways to connect with God. Prayer for me, reading my Bible are big, big things I've got to have. Financial self-care. This is one that I have worked on in the recent months. Being responsible for your finances, having a conscientious relationship with money, knowing where your income is coming in, knowing where it's going, knowing when things are due, completing your taxes on time, spending and saving money wisely. This is a big thing. And this was a new one. This one was a shock because I used to seeing just 5, but then I saw this aspect where it added several eight in. And I think this is one that I think, especially for women, I think financial self-care is a big thing. So now I'm going to have to move my little picture, my little self over here so I can read. Why do we need self-care? Let me see. Why? So the lack of self-care can affect our whole body. It affects everything. It'll affect us as a person, as a mother, as a daughter, as a sister, wife, mother. It affects everything. We cannot function properly if we're not taking care of ourselves. It's kind of like when you're in a plane and you're going along and then you hit turbulence. They tell you to put that oxygen mask on your face first before you put it on your child's. Why? Because if you don't have oxygen, you can't take care of that person by you and help them. And it's the same way in life. If we are not able to function, we can't take care of our people. And our people are important. And because our people are important, we are important just for ourselves. Motherhood is a ministry. It is a high calling. And if you do not take care of yourself, you cannot function as a minister correctly. And that's just how it is. We can't pour into other people's lives out of an empty cup. You are vitally important to the success of your homeschool. And my last one, happy, healthy mothers raise happy, healthy children. And that's just how it is. So you are important. And so when you start grabbing onto the fact that you have to be healthy for them to be healthy, and you have to be whole for them to be whole, then you can begin to not feel guilty for taking care of yourself. So, let's see. Okay, Bible verses. I'm going to stop worrying about those notes over there. Bible verses on self-care. 1 Kings 19:6. Get up, eat, for the journey is too much for you. Right here, the angel's telling him to get up and eat because the journey was too much. God knows where we are and what's going on. And he wants you to take care of yourself so that you can accomplish the journey. Mark 6:31, come with me by yourselves to a quiet place and get some rest. It is, he wants you to rest. He wants you to rest. He wants you to get up and eat. He wants you to eat healthy, nutrient-rich food. He wants you to get rest. Dear friend, I pray that you may enjoy good health and that all may go well with you, even as your soul is getting along well. He, God, our Heavenly Father, we are so important to Him. He wants us to be healthy. So don't skip on that, Mama. Don't give yourself guilt. Here's some self-care quotes. I love quotes. So, rest and self-care are so important. When you take time to replenish your spirit, it allows you to serve others from the overflow. You cannot serve from an empty vessel, Eleanor Brown. I believe that the greatest gift you can give your family and world is a healthy you. That's Joyce Myers. Self-care is giving the world the best of you instead of what's left of you. That's Katie Reed. So it is important. Rest is important. So how do we add self-care to our day? What do you do? How do you do it? How do you, you can send me emails about this. How do you define self-care? How do you add it into your day? Well, the first thing you need to do is to make a list of every self-care issue you have, everything you want to work on. Make a list. Don't be shy. I know it can feel overwhelming and depressing, but don't let that do that because you're making steps to change this. Don't allow it to overwhelm you. We know it won't be a quick fix, but that's okay. So make a list. Prioritize the list. What is the most important thing you need to fix? And start with that, because what you won't realize is, let's say you have this big long list, but the number one thing that you think you need to work on is your health. Fixing that one health and working on that may affect those other things on the list. So when you get to that point where you feel like that, let's say your physical is handled, then you go back and reevaluate that list. Is everything the same? Take off what you don't need, and then you look at it again. What's the next important one? So you see, you make that list, you pick the most important, and when you finish that, it'll take you a little while. It won't be something that you can get done in 1 week. It's going to take, let's say a habit. Let's see, do I have that on here on the next slide? Oh, yeah. You realize that it takes over 2 months for a new habit to be automatic. So you have to identify what you've got to work on, what needs to be changed so that you can change it. And then you have to realize it's going to take you at least 2 months. So you work on whatever whatever your thing is. Then when that 2 months up and you feel happy that that new habit is accomplished, go start a new list and reevaluate your old list, because you may not have some stuff on there because that one area, everything overlaps. So you may not have the same things on that list. You write everything out, pick the top one again, and for the next 2 months, 3 months, you're working on the next thing. You plan for success. Plan to sidestep failure. And what I mean about planning for success is you overthink all the little things and have a plan. Also, have plan B, just in case. If this is hard, what can I do to sidestep that failure and still have success? Chart it out if you need to. But most of all, give yourself grace, because it will take time. It is not an overnight thing. You're worth that time, Mama. Let's see now. Oh, I've got to. Now I gotta find my, look, people. There it is. I didn't want to, no. Oh, okay. That's my last slide. I thought I had another one on there. But okay, so I want you to, let's get rid of that. No. Let's see. Stop share. So I want you to take some time and show me, email me, what do you need to work on and how can you work it into your time? Now, remember, in my Becoming a Professional Home Educator, I said, work yourself into your budget. and into your schedule. And it's the same thing with working on this. They go together. You want to add your self-care into your schedule and into your budget. They're both important. You cannot become a professional home educator if you are sick or if you are exhausted. You have to work on your self-care so that you are a vibrant, happy mama who can homeschool her children with a smile on her face. Now, no, that does not mean we always smile. Sometimes there are issues, but you are okay and you can do this. And anything I can help you do, let me know. You are so important to your children. You're important to the homeschool community. We can't do without you. You're awesome. We want you to succeed and we want to help you do it. We want to give you the tools. You can find me at Devin at homeschoolscholarscholars.com. I'm always happy to help and have a great conference.